Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another discussion. It's story time. What I need you all to do is close your eyes and envision, envision. Once upon a time, there was this man. He was like 32 years old. He enjoyed the outdoors, just going outside, feeling the wind, listening to the birds chirp. He just enjoyed the whole nature experience. And, he was just a lonely type of guy too, you know what I mean? And he just wanted somebody to comfort him, but he didn't want to seek mankind. He didn't want to seek anything, nothing, no type of human experience or whatever, because he was just used to being by himself. So one day, as he got up, he did his joggings every day. He stumbled across a cave. And mind you, this is the first time he ever seen this cave before. He didn't know whether to go in or whether to just run right past it. So being a human, we as humans, our curiosity, we just have a hunger for curiosity. So instead of him jogging past the cave, he goes inside and take a peek inside the cave. So in this cave, it was, it just had a smell to it. First of all, before he even entered the cave, he had to kind of kick down the branches that was blocking the entrance of the cave. It was covered in branches and had a lot of leaves. So once he spotted this cave, he kicked down the branches, removed the leaves, and out came bats, out of nowhere. It was just a whole lot of bats just swarming outside the cave, just like it was just ready to be released out of nowhere. So once the bats came out storming, he started running, but he just had this gut feeling that he had to suck it up and he had to finish his mission. I don't know what that mission was, but he decided to, he decided to um, stay on the mission and enter inside the cave. So as he was entering inside the cave, he took out his flash, this light bulb, and he started to kind of look around or whatever. And he just started saying hello, hello, and every time he said hello, it was an echo of his voice inside the cave. So he already knew that the cave was a long way down because he could hear his voice echo miles and miles away down the cave. So he started to turn back. But as he was turning back, he looked down and he seen something that he couldn't believe. He seen a map. And that map, it had like a entry to the cave and then had something pointing to where if you go down the cave, you will stumble across a treasure chest. So he said to himself, this can't be real. I'm gonna have to, I might have to just leave and just come back. So that's exactly what he did. He left the cave and, he stayed up all night thinking about what he came across, that if anybody else discovered this cave, they might discover that treasure, and he didn't want that. He needed this treasure because this would be his big break. He would never have to work again. He felt like he would get the type of respect that he deserved, all because of this treasure. So that whole night, he stayed up planning on what he would do the next day. And as he drew out that blueprint, he said, this is what I'm going to do when I wake up in the morning. So the next morning came. He put on his jogging clothes and he was prepared this time. And as he was jogging, he seen the cave. He took a deep breath and he just told himself there's no turning back. this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go inside this cave and try to find this treasure. So as he was going through the cave, he had everything. He was more prepared this time. He had all of his equipment. He had his flashlight. He had his food. He had everything he needed in order for him to survive this. He didn't know what he was going to face while being down in the cave, but he was prepared for anything. So as he was going through the cave, he just started to get this eerie feeling that he shouldn't be here. Even though he's going on this mission, he started to get this feeling that I don't know if I should do this, but I can't turn around. So the more and more he thought about turning around, the deeper and deeper he got in the cave, and he figured that there's no turning back now. Well, he didn't realize how deep the cave was. So he took a break to look at the map. And as he was looking at the map, he heard this noise. And as he was turning to see what the noise was, out came some rats out of nowhere. They kind of had him shook, you know what I mean? It was just four big old rats came out of nowhere. And he said to himself, that ain't nothing but rats. Whew, thank you. I thought it was something else, but I got to stay on this mission because I'm not turning around. That's what he was thinking to himself. So as he entered deeper and deeper and deeper into the cave, all of a sudden, it was like a mini-sized earthquake inside the cave. And it's like, it shook. And as the cave was shaking, he was finna turn around and run back out the cave. But it was too late because when the cave started to shake like an earthquake, it caved in to where he was stuck. So it was really no way out. The only way he know he could go out was to just keep going further and further where he was going, deeper and deeper into the cave. He couldn't go back out the exit because it caved in. So he kind of, paused for a little minute because he wanted to think about, you know, he said to himself, man, this was a dumb idea. I should have just stayed myself at home. I should have never, I hate I even stumbled across this cave. But the mission wasn't over yet. So he decided to go deeper and deeper inside the cave. And out of nowhere, as he was going, he heard this noise. It was like a whispering type noise. He heard like people, they didn't speak English though, but they had a language, a foreign language that he never heard of. And so he had to kind of lighten up on his steps. Instead of him walking, making a lot of noise, he kind of tiptoed further and further to where the whispering noise was coming from. And as he was getting closer and closer to the whispers, he just so happened to see what was whispering. And out of nowhere, it was this 12-foot tall human being. I can't even call him a human, but he was a huge individual, and he was whispering, and he had fur as clothes and long fingernails, hair down to his back. He had red type hair, long nose, long teeth, eyes were pierced red, and he knew that he was in trouble when he seen that individual. He know it was no way out, and he was just hoping to himself like, dang, I hope they didn't hear me, because if they hear me, I'm dead meat. So all along, he was trying to figure out a way to get out the cave. He was no longer interested in finding the treasure. He was trying to save his life. And out of nowhere, the whispering sound from the people, they started walking towards him. And as the people were walking, the whole cave vibrated. It's like these people were so big that every step you would think is an earthquake. And so he had to hurry up and find a hiding spot. When he found a hiding spot, he just sat there for a minute and breathed. And he breathed slowly. He didn't know what the next move was going to be, but he knew that he had to get out this cave. So as he was breathing, he was waiting for them to leave and go in another direction. So they went in another direction. Once they went in another direction, he came out of his hiding spot and he was just looking to see, what did I get myself into? So out of nowhere, he seen a light that was shining through the cave. And he's like, man, here goes a light. I need to dig my way out of this cave from this light. Maybe I can make this hole bigger, because if these people see me, they gonna eat me. And so as he was going to the cave to try to dig his way out, he came across all these skeletal bones. I mean, human bones. They were animal bones. Everything bones. So he was thinking to himself, these giants that I just seen, they must eat these. They must eat people. They eat animals. They eat people. Oh man, people would never believe what I came across. I need to get out of here, and I need to get out of here alive. So as he was digging his way out, he was trying to make so much noise because the people, the giants, they wasn't far away. They was only a couple feet away. You know what I mean? I'm going to say about 100, 200 feet away, if not that. And so he tried to make as less noise as possible. As he was trying to enter out the cave, the giants, they came back. And he thought they seen him, but they didn't. So what he did was he ran. He ran and he ran deeper into the cave. And the deeper he got into the cave, he figured it would be no way out, because he had his chance, but he couldn't go out through the cave that had the light. You know, that was his entrance, that was his exit out. But the giants, they were, it seemed like they were smelling. They had these senses to where they could smell certain things. So the guy had to find another way out. And as he stumbled past the giants, he went deeper and deeper into the cave. So as he went deeper into the cave, he said to himself, I'm going to make this recording. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to record myself. So whoever finds this, they'll know that I was here. And he was saying, Mom, Dad, if you don't see me again, this is I just want to make this recording and let you all know I love you. Let you all know that, I'm sorry that I couldn't be with you right now. But, things happened and I had to do what I had to do. After he made that recording, out of nowhere, he seen a door. And he didn't know where this door led to. But he opened the door. And when he opened the door, guess what was inside? To be continued to the next part 2.